Hi everyone, I'm Joanna.
And I'm Jenny.
And this is Hyphenated, the podcast about living in the hyphen.
I love how you started the recording with a cough.
Oh my god. Hey guys, this is our 50th episode. 50th episode. And it's only appropriate that I have COVID during our 50th episode of a podcast we thought of doing during the beginning of the pandemic. And then, COVID struck right when it was an important number in our episode count. It was like, yeah, let's have Joanna have COVID in number 50. It just seems appropriate.
Yeah, how are you feeling?
I'm going to be honest with you, it feels like a cold, but the thing that I absolutely think is inhumane is that the only thing I have to look forward to every day is eating, because I can't do anything else. And I can't taste anything anymore.
Balls.
So there's no joy in my life. I can't leave my apartment, right? So at the beginning while I was feeling sick, I'm like, all right, I'm going to have a little, grilled cheese. And, oh man, I'm going to treat myself to some cereal. And now I'm like, all of it just tastes like air to me. So what even is the point? To be clear, we're recording this Sunday, December 19th. Mm-hmm. And I have 13 close friends, not like conocidos. I'm saying close friends with COVID. Yep. And it almost seems like last weekend we all went and just lived life and COVID just completely spread everywhere. I've been having dreams that I'm back in March of 2020.
Oof.
Wait, is it 2020? When did this start? Yeah, 2020.
2020. For us here in the States, we always think of March 2020 because, that's when the lockdown started. But technically, it started in the winter of 2019. Mm-hmm. But I remember first hearing about it on the news in February when I was in Vegas. Vegas, of all goddamn places. And I'm just standing there staring at the TV in my hotel. And I turn to my sister and her then fiance. I'm like, you guys, should we be nervous about this? Should we be and walking around casinos and touching buttons? So that memory is seared into my brain.
I love that it was in Vegas for you, arguably one of the most party-centered locations in the world where adults go to live like Disney World for adults.
Just touch each other.
Yeah.
Just touch and lick surfaces.
Just all the sins agglomerated into one location in the desert. That's where it hit you that shit was getting real.
And then at the end of February, I did a meet and greet where I hugged and kissed 200 people in Miami. And then went to Orlando where I went to all the theme parks.
Oh my God.
And by the time I got back is when everything locked down. My entire February was just kind of like, are we okay?
Right.
I don't know how I didn't catch it.
Well, I think a lot of us, and especially me, were in denial because, this is something that we couldn't wrap our head around. It's just a concept that wasn't regular or normal to us. It completely changed the way that we perceived and saw life.
Yeah.
And I remember the moment it hit me. It was my birthday week. And I went to this Broadway show, I think it was Tuesday, and I heard people coughing in the show, and I started getting a little anxious. I left the Broadway theater, and I saw people's faces, and everyone was panicked.
Oh my God.
Everyone was like, Tom Hanks has COVID, and the NBA is closing down. In the 2 hours I was in the theater, everything started formalizing itself yo, we're gonna lock down. And I remember turning to these strangers and I was like, are we gonna be okay? And they were like, honestly, we don't think so. We're not from New York and we're heading home right now. We think this is bad. And I remember that moment. I'll never forget it because it was the most normal thing in the world, which is going to the theater, became the most absurd thing in the world from the beginning of the play to when I got out.
Yes.
Those 2 hours changed so much.
Wow.
And I hadn't felt that, Jenny, until this week again. The sudden shock of changing gears.
Yes.
Sorry, it's hard for me to breathe.
Yeah, me, oh my God.
So the week after that weekend, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it felt like the beginning of the pandemic again.
Especially with SNL making their announcement yesterday, going, oh, we're not going to perform to a live audience. Mm-hmm. It's uh-oh, flashbacks are occurring. So then in my head, I'm like, what's next? Mm-hmm. What's going to happen after that? And after that? And after that?
Right, because we know now it's not a new concept. It's not the unknown. We sort of know how this moves forward. But the difference is the circumstances are different. People are vaccinated. I mean, the reason I'm able to do this podcast and breathing relatively normally is because I'm vaccinated and boosted.
Yeah.
And so I know I'm going to be okay. But like, I've never, even at the peak of the pandemic last year, never did I have 13 close friends with COVID. And right now in New York, I have 13 very good friends who tested positive with COVID, who, by the way, this morning, Jenny, I called my friend, she's Spanish, entonces ella está fumando su cigarro, she's literally smoking a cigarette and having wine at 11 a.m. And she's like, sí, tía, I have felt kind of sick for the week, but I think it's just a cold. And I'm like,
Girl, no.
Girl, like, do another test. And she's like, I've had 5 tests. And I was like, Natalie, do one more test, please, I beg you. She did the test and she came out positive, and she was like, oh, yeah, no, this makes all the sense in the world.
I'm gonna be real, yo. If anybody tells me, oh, I have like a cold, I'm like, girl, you have COVID. Like, I'm sorry, maybe you don't, but like I treat everyone as if they have COVID if they tell me they have like the sniffles, because it's more than likely that. Mm-hmm. And it's not that testing isn't accurate. It has to do with the amount of time it takes for the virus to incubate and to, for you to even start feeling symptoms. And again, you could be asymptomatic, right? Which has happened to some of my friends. I mean, I know you said you tested positive right away, but a bunch of my friends, it took 1 or 2 tests before they got their positive result. So I always tell people, if you feel sick, and especially if you're not one to catch the flu and you're sick out of nowhere, like if you take a test and it's negative, do another one in the next 2 or 3 days. I know it's annoying, but lo que me da pánico is that there's people like that are like, oh, it's just a cold then, I suppose, because I got my test and it's negative. Then what's going to happen is they're going to wreak havoc, go out, they're not going to quarantine, they're going to see family during the holidays, spread it, and someone can still potentially die because guess what? Not everyone is vaccinated. So even though you're vaccinated and you're boosted or whatever and you feel more protected, and sure, you're probably going to be okay in the end, you're going to potentially kill someone else. And I also have a ton of friends with COVID all over the US. Just yesterday, I was supposed to have lunch, outdoor lunch, with a friend. They texted me in the morning and they said, I have a fever. I'm going to get tested. Hours later, they text me again. I have COVID.
Yep.
This is a person that has been extremely responsible the entire pandemic, has been able to dodge it just like me for the past 2 years, and they're immunocompromised. And they still, I heard from friends in Miami who have it now. Tons of people in Los Angeles have it now. So it's beyond New York.
It's definitely beyond New York at this point. I think that like much like we saw when it first hit the States in 2020, that New York became the first epicenter, and then we saw it sort of, it was like the example before everywhere else.
Yeah.
I think that that's what's happening.
Yeah.
I also feel that like this is so contagious.
Yes.
It's so contagious that you can do everything right and still get it. Like I got it through my cousin who was at a WeWork, and 2 people at his WeWork had like flu-like symptoms and didn't let anyone know and still went into the WeWork. He probably contracted it there, and then I saw him, and then I got it from him, and that's probably how it happened. But like at no point was anyone doing something irresponsible. Do you know what I mean? Like we were just trying to live our life and be people. So it's scary, but I think this is going to be the new flu. I feel like if you're vaccinated and boosted, and as we start understanding this, these variants more and more, like I just think this is going to sound sad, but I think this isn't going away, dude. I think this is just going to be life.
No.
And we're y que ladilla China, but this keeps on evolving. Like freaking, what's his face? The guy with the evolutionary guy. Dude, I have such brain
Darwin?
fog. Darwin. I can't think of any word anymore.
El tipo de evolution, the evolution man, Darwin.
I feel like Darwin would have a fucking field day. Like, yo, this shit's evolving in like 2 hours. Fuck the monkeys. You know what I mean?
I feel like COVID's gonna end up becoming like a person. Like it's gonna be a new alien species. We'll be able to talk to them. Like this will be like a Doctor Who episode. I am looking for, there'll be like Cybermen or Daleks or something. Like fucking weird. That's how much they're going to evolve. They're not going to look like little spiky crowns. They're going to be like these gorgeous, like, alien creatures with, like, an actual crown.
Oh, I'd love that for them.
Something.
I'm playing so much Zelda that you just described the ice people in the Zelda world. I forget no words. Wait, I don't remember any words right now. Between not breathing and not remembering things, this episode is gonna come out interesting.
I think, like, for me, what's so frustrating is that a lot of people that are anti-vax and shit are laughing at people like us who are fully vaxxed, like, boosted, and they're like, ha ha, joke's on you, I guess, bitch, because you still caught it. And it's like, dude, nobody ever said that the fucking vaccines protect you from catching it at all. The only difference is you're just not gonna die from it, bro. Mm-hmm. And it's no wonder we're in this goddamn pandemic. It's no wonder we're still in esta mierda because of all the fucking ignorance. Oh my God. What scares me now is that because of all these breakthrough cases of vaccinated people catching it, there's this, like, I don't know, this very I told you so type of rhetoric going around, like, well, the vaccine's stupid.
I know.
You know, it's like saying, oh, so you wore your seatbelt, but you still got into a car accident? I told you so.
And very uninformed, I told you so. Because it's
like, my God,
I told you so might function if I, like, died from the vaccine. Do you know what I'm saying?
I know.
Like, the vaccine has done nothing other than, like, give me a very, very mild cold. I feel I've had hangovers worse than this. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to belittle how much this sucks, but I don't feel that bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no part of me that thinks that any of this is, like, going to have lifelong effects. Like, I'll be fine. And I know it's because I'm vaccinated and boosted. Like, I feel safe. But, like, I think that we need to re-educate ourselves a little bit because I felt like I was fucking Superman when I got vaxxed. Do you know what I'm saying? I was just like,
I know, it happened to all of us. We're like, yes, we can go. And then it's like, oh,
let me lick a subway pole, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I wanted to do. I was like, fucking, let's go.
It's this flippant attitude, this lack of empathy. You know, outside of the I told you so's, I'm seeing the whatever, bro, I'm not gonna live my life in fear. If I catch it, I catch it. Even amongst the vaccinated, right? They're like, fuck it, I'm vaxxed. If I catch it, big deal.
I think it's because people are, like, exhausted of worrying from it.
Trust me, I'm one of those exhausted people, but it just kills me because it's like, dude, fine. You can have all the confidence in the world that if you catch it, it's not going to be so bad, and which is probably true. It's probably not going to be so bad for you, but we need to keep in mind there's still a lot of disabled people, immunocompromised people, and yes, people that don't want to get vaccinated, and as much as it sucks, like, it's still a human life. I don't know.
I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real with you, Jenny. I'm gonna be 100% real, and I'm so sorry if this makes me a horrible person, but I got COVID right now, and I feel like shit. So my humanity is just a little bit belittled right now, okay? Estoy hasta el culo, huevón. Yo no me aguanto esa gente más. And I think a lot of the reasons why we're not able to continue to live our life is because this thing is able to mutate and change because people aren't vaccinated.
No, I know.
So, ¿sabes qué? If they don't care about anyone else, then I don't care about them, bitch. Sorry, I don't care. And that is really sad that I've gotten to this point, and I'm sorry if I sound crass and like a bitch, but I have had a fever for 2 days and I don't feel great. And I want to go hug my parents and I can't on Christmas. I'm going to be alone on Christmas, and I missed one of my best friend's weddings.
No, I don't blame you.
But I'm over people pretending like they can't do their part in this. To be clear, for example, like, I was about to get on a plane, and on a whim, I was like, ay, ¿sabes qué? I'm going to get tested just in case. I'm going to be responsible. And I did. And thank God I was responsible, because I was going to get on a plane to Colombia where I was going to party with 120 people, and I was going to get all of them sick.
Yeah.
And my point is, I understand the empathy and I understand the desire to be responsible and help the situation as much as you can. But from there to extending my empathy to people that don't care about anyone else, I can't do that.
I just hate this, like, flippant attitude towards this virus. And again, even people who are vaccinated are acting a little cocky and like, whatever, if I catch it. I'm like, yes, bitch. Yeah. But not, you know, like, you need to still be careful because it could still spread, it can still harm people. And that's what's just like mind-boggling to me, like how people have no capacity for thinking about other people outside of their stupid bubbles. I am just as peeved and ticked off. I have family members who aren't vaccinated, and all they do is mock the vaccinated, and they get their news from like websites like Catholics for Trump. Like, I'm just like, I can't anymore. And by the way, I don't know if you saw, but it was breaking news. I was so bored that I was like, I'm gonna read this fucking article. I read the whole goddamn thing, where they found there's actual evidence now, even though we all knew this, but there's evidence now that Trump and his administration purposely downplayed the virus for political gain. I know that's not news for a lot of us, but it's official. Like, it's in documentation. There's proof. I don't know where this is going to go, or what's going to happen next, but it pisses me off. And unfortunately, statistically, a lot of people on the right are the majority unvaccinated. Yeah. And there's a reason for that. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not making this up. This is just facts.
Right. You're 100% right.
I'm not saying all conservatives aren't vaccinated, but it's statistically correct. Most conservatives, most people on the right, especially people who are hardcore for Trump, are not vaccinated, refuse to be vaccinated. They're the first comepingas who are saying, my body, my choice. I'm like, bitch, you were just picketing an abortion clinic. Y ahora está hablando de my body, my choice. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
At least get another saying. At least get another slogan. Don't co-opt the slogan, because it's a little hypocritical. Because if you're going to co-opt the slogan, co-opt it fully. And be pro-abortion.
Pero esto es lo que me da risa, because this is where my ADHD brain is going, right? They're going to then go, it's not the same thing because you're killing innocent babies. I'm like, okay, you choosing not to get vaccinated means that you're okay with killing people that were once babies. Or actual babies, because babies have died from COVID.
Yeah.
Okay? It's not the majority, but babies and toddlers and children have died from COVID. So you're aquí hablando on your high horse of like, the babies, pobrecito los babies. That, my body, they're like, it's not the same thing. How dare you compare a vaccine to the life of a precious child? But it's like, do you not see what you're saying?
No, they don't.
You're not even thinking about the countless lives that you're endangering. Unfortunately, this is a very bleak way of looking at shit, but it's the truth. Who knows how many people these unvaxxed folks have killed by now, unknowingly.
Also unvaxxed, and then also irresponsible.
Yes.
There's like a multiple layer type of asshole thing that can happen, because you have the anti-vaxxers. Like, I know of an anti-vax woman. She's very religious, muy católica, Latina. And she says it goes against her religion. I don't understand what religion that is, but here we go. And she's been very, very cautious and very, very, very careful, and has not seen anyone.
Okay, then fine. If you don't want to get vaccinated, then be responsible.
Then I'm like, okay, whatever. But then most of the people that shit on me on Twitter when I posted, I posted that I have COVID because I think it's important to have visualization. I think everyone that has COVID should say, hey, everyone, I have fucking COVID. Do you know what I'm saying? And you know what I love about the comedy community is that we all went out and said it. And there's a running joke right now that every New York City comedian has COVID because we're the most outspoken, and we just go out and say it, and we make fun of our faults. That is our job. So when we have COVID, we're not ashamed. We're just there telling you the truth of what we're going through. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about being a comedian, is that you're not afraid of your faults and your negative parts. And I think that's why so many comedians have been so outspoken about it. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people have written to me on Twitter. So I wrote about having COVID. I made a joke about how I started this year with cancer and I'm ending it with COVID. Thought it was funny. And this guy is like, who the fuck cares? You're going to die from the vaccines anyway. Y como que they started piling on, shitting on me about getting my vaccine. By then, I was like, I'm not going to waste my time with this person. And the sad thing is, I'm never going to change their mind.
No, you're not.
But you know what is going to change their mind? Is that this thing is not really going anywhere. We're just learning how to live with it. And we don't know the effects of this long term. And we don't know how this is going to evolve. We're in a no man's land again. We don't know and we don't understand. Thankfully, Darwin, coming back, one of the most incredible things about the human race is that we're able to adapt like crazy. We adapt. That is what makes us human. Mm-hmm. So I think that what is coming is unknown. And I know we'll be able to adapt to it, but I think it's still an unknown.
Yeah.
And, you know, I feel all right. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to get over this. I hope there's no long-term effects of COVID for me. I have friends that still can't taste and smell after a year. You know, I think I'm hoping the vaccine helps me with this. But again, we don't really know. And while we don't really know, we shouldn't pretend that we're sure of anything. And that's what I think frustrates me most about the people that are unvaccinated or the people that are being irresponsible, is that they act like they're sure. And the reason I act like how I act by being overly cautious is because I'm not sure. And I want to tell everyone, let's act like we're not sure. Let's just be unsure. I'm not here to tell you I'm sure of anything. I'm here to tell you the opposite. I'm fucking unsure. That's why I'm like fucking locked in my house, bitch.
But also también, there's this thing of like, sure, a lot of people on the right can be problematic because they don't want to get vaccinated and they're very about themselves and they're, you know, super selfish. But then I've also noticed that there are some people on the left who behave like they're holier than thou, and they're basically attack people who have caught COVID like it's some sort of like sin. At this point, you can do everything right and still catch this damn virus. You know, I saw someone on Twitter recently calling people out, like calling liberals and people on the left out, because it's like we rag on people on the right for ignoring COVID.
Oh, yeah.
But the rest of us are starting to moralize catching this thing, and it's fucking ridiculous. The person who said this is at Joseph Brassy. And I retweeted it because I was like, this is so real. We need to also call our own people out because it como two extremes.
It's so annoying. There's this one person on my Twitter, and I actually deleted her. She was such a pain in the ass. She was like, I haven't caught COVID because I've done everything right. And I'm like, okay, girl. You know what? I also tried and did everything right. But you know, the virus isn't just like with a little checklist, like looking at you and then talking to Santa and God and being like, is this person worthy of me entering their body and pillaging their fucking
The virus
system?
does not give a
No,
shit.
she did everything right. Dude, we don't know how this fucking virus works. The fact that 13 of my friends, all of them, by the way, incredibly cautious and spent most of the fucking quarantine here in New York, locked in their apartments. These people are the ones that really went through it. If you're telling me all of them got it, especially two who are immunocompromised and were really looking out for themselves, do not moralize this fucking thing. Like, moralizing a spiky virus is the most ridiculous fucking thing I've ever heard.
So that's the other extreme that I'm super annoyed about, and I've been seeing it on Twitter, and it's why I had to stop being friends with certain people who are self-proclaimed activists. And to me, I'm like, no, you don't really care about other people. So
no, and that's why I freaking love comedians, man. My comedian friends who have this thing have been so funny. I mean, I think there's something really special about a group of people that just has nothing to hide. Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I was texting with my friends and I was like, oh my God, I have like stomach issues now. Like I have stomach issues. And they're like, oh my God, is it because of the virus? And I was like, honestly, since I can't taste anything, I've been putting so much sauce on everything and spices that I think it's me. I've caused my stomach issues.
Bro, like, that's exactly... Oh my God,
I feel like you, Jenny, my stomach is killing me, and it's because I'm trying to seek for taste. I'm like, anything give me a taste. I want to remember what smell and taste were like.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah.
I'm hoping this goes away soon. My husband actually tested negative 7 times.
Before he tested positive?
And like he had symptoms. And we were like, you have it for sure. And he was like, yeah, I think I have it. And then I'm like, and he's like, I have another negative PCR
Why does he
test.
sound like Beavis and Butthead?
Well, I think he was exaggerating how bad he felt because he wanted an excuse to stay in bed forever.
Oh.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Didn't have COVID.
You know, when I found out I had it, I cried. I cried so hard because it's like, you know, we spent 2 years avoiding
2 years
this thing.
dodging it, yo, like a horrible
2
long
years.
game of dodgeball.
It's a long game of dodgeball. I don't want to give away the ending of Squid Games, but it's like getting to the end of Squid Games and being like, you know what? After almost dying a million times, I give up. That's sort of what it felt like for me. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm triple vaxxed. I'm finally going to my friend's wedding that was postponed during COVID in 2020. I'm finally going. This is finally like wrapping up, and I get COVID now, and now I can't spend Christmas with my family, who I haven't been able to spend Christmas with for 2 years because of the pandemic, and now I really can't because I finally got it. I lost a game of dodgeball, but you know what? That's life, baby. That's life in the big city. Jenny, are we ever going to meet in person again?
Dude, I keep thinking I'm going to go to New York. And then now I'm like, no.
Don't come.
I don't think so. I don't think that's
Maybe
a good
for our
idea.
100th episode.
Maybe, yeah. This blows.
I'm breathing so loudly.
I keep thinking of cartoons. You're like that annoying kid that like,
Mouth
oh my
breather?
God.
Oh,
Yeah. From this cartoon. Oh my God, isn't it
Hey Arnold.
Helga?
Hey Arnold.
Yeah, Hey Arnold. And Helga just punches him in the face.
I feel like a pug.
Oh no.
I feel like a pug. I've been bred to the point of being unable to breathe normally.
That's how, I have asthma, so sometimes I do breathe like that.
Yeah, man. I get asthma too with my allergies.
Ugh, bro, that's, yep, you know?
But you know what, Jenny? I do want to give a bit of an inspirational ending, which is
All right.
you know, I'm vaxxed, I'm boosted, you're vaxxed, you're boosted. Everyone I know who's vaxxed, they're having a shitty time, but they're okay. You know, I had a really horrible stomach virus in Mexico, and I'd rather have this than that. I'm gonna be totally honest with you.
Yeah, I would choose that too.
You know, just staying home and eating whatever, because it all tastes the same, and playing Zelda. That's what I'm doing for 2 weeks.
Yeah, yo, just everyone out there listening, please, for the love of God, we're not telling you not to have a life, but just be more responsible. This virus is out here, y'all. It is hella contagious. The Omarion and the Delta.
Omarion! Omariquan. Like, I don't even know what the
I don't
name
know.
is
There's all
anymore.
these memes out there now. I've lost track. But, you know, like, just doesn't matter which one it is that's wreaking havoc in your community specifically right now, because it's pretty much both of them tag teaming. Let's just be real. And so just be careful, man, especially around the holidays. Is it fun? No, it's not fun, but you got to do what you can. You know, it's the whole better safe than sorry type thing. Like, I go by that a lot. And that's where my, you know, ADHD, fucking hypervigilant, survivalist, fight or flight comes in. And everyone thinks I'm the exagerada.
No.
But you know what? I don't think so. I think it's sometimes, in times like this, it pays off to be extra careful. And sometimes that means being the Debbie Downer of your
Oh my God,
friend
I'm the
group.
Debbie Downer of my family. My family is like, ay, pero no importa. Like, come once you're fine. And I'm like, yeah, I'll go once I'm fine. That's after Christmas.
I know.
And my mom's like, no, pero no importa. El 24 te vienes para la casa. And I'm like, no, I'm still in quarantine. I'm not going to get you sick. She's like, you'll be fine by then. I'm like, you can't will this out of me, Mom. you can't will this out. I want to be there too. I'm not pretending I'm sick to stay in my apartment for 2 weeks. I want to,
Yeah.
you know, I'm such an active person, Jenny. I don't know what to do with my life. I'm like, I have a schedule. I like read for 2 hours. I play video games. Then I like clean. Then I write. Then I, you know, and I think I just need to rest.
Yes, Joanna, you need to rest. And I
Yeah.
feel like this podcast has already taken a lot out of you because we got real
I'm
angry
exhausted.
for a moment there.
Oh my God, I got so angry. Yo, yesterday I tried to do an aerobics class.
Joanna,
My husband was asleep and I was like, perfect time to like sneak in.
let me
an
do
aerobics
cardio.
class.
Okay.
I started doing the cardio and I was like,
Por favor.
and I texted my friend who has COVID and I'm like, I tried to do cardio and I couldn't. And he was like, are you stupid?
I think that's the problem
No.
with us, though, because we're so overactive and we're constantly looking for a dopamine hit.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to feel anything.
It's
right?
the worst. It's the worst because like your body forces you to like sit your ass down, and that's something we don't know how to do.
I don't. I hate sitting and just. I was reading. I like to read. I was reading yesterday, and I was like, I got to do something that feels painful to me. So I'm like, exercise.
Now I think my abuela might have had ADHD now I think about it. Because that lady came home from having a fucking heart attack. And she was like, en la cocina, cocinando. Blah, 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 blah.
Sí.
She didn't know how to sit down.
Jenny, I haven't organized my closet since never in my entire life. And yesterday I spent 4 hours organizing my closet and color coordinating it. That is the most I don't know if this disease is making me like unlike myself because I'm very messy, but I spent so much of my day yesterday organizing because I felt like I needed to accomplish something. And what I need to accomplish is just to like get better. I can't wrap my head around that being enough.
Mira, go lay on your bed, play your Zelda, and like put on like Snow White. Or The Prices, or like find reruns of The Price is Right or something.
Wait, Jenny, you know what I love is that you really know me. You have ADHD too. I can't just play Zelda. Like, I need to watch TV at the same time.
That's what I do with Animal Crossing. We're watching like Hawkeye, and I have Animal Crossing playing, and then I have my phone, and I'm texting back and forth with my friends, and like scrolling through Instagram, and then I'll also be eating something crunchy.
Oh, I'll eat anything crunchy at this point. I could just have like pieces of a computer, and it would taste the same to me. Oh, it's just a keyboard, you know.
The letter L is really delicious.
Tastes the same as Captain Crunch, so might
Captain
as well.
Crunch.
Captain Crunch.
Hi, Joanna, bro. Well, feel better, please. Get well soon.
I will. For the next time we record, I will hopefully be over this thing, and we can talk about stuff like genitals and politics and other things.
Our favorite
beyond
things.
This goddamn pandemic, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, stay safe, Jenny, and I'll talk to you soon.
I'll try my best.
Please don't get COVID. Please don't get COVID.
I'm trying.
Coño, vale, que ladilla.